So the fight against control is you ramping up, living who you are as your true nature, as a loving, unified, genius, creative being, a light bearer, a source of light in this world, a source of love in this world, a source of acceptance and allowing in this world. Hi everyone, Karen here. Wanted to have a chat with you about what's happening. I hope you've been enjoying the shows. The last show that I did was with, I've just come off a Facebook Live with Mary Rodwell, which I'll upload soon. And we were talking about, it's Anzac Day here in Australia. We were talking about many things, but it's Anzac Day, which is when we celebrate the people that have gone to war. Law and war, same thing really. Lest we forget is the catch cry. Lest we forget the war, never do it again. And we were talking about lest we forget the reason why people go to war, and that they don't celebrate their diversity. They don't want to listen to other people's point of views. They want to fight over other people's point of views. So we talked about today, we're going to rebrand today. Instead of calling it Anzac Day, we're going to call it Celebrate the Diversity Day today. So Mary Rodwell, as you know, is the ET lady, the galactic lady. She's been a hypnotherapist for many years, a nurse and a midwife and hypnotherapist, a difference maker, a light weaver, a light worker, and a galactic goddess, helping people activate and remember their galactic mission, really, their connection to who they are beyond their physical human identity and more. And we were talking about lots of people asking questions, when are the ETs going to show up? And until we can actually celebrate the diversity here on Earth and not judge each other for difference of opinions and different ideas and looking different, not until we can feel more unified inside diversity, can we even hope to have our galactic brothers and sisters show up. Because, you know, they show up and the governments around the world want to shoot them down because they're different, because they're afraid of them. So fear has been the ruling consciousness on our planet up until now. And during this global shift, what we're doing is we're shifting it out of fear and into love. Out of fear and into love. Out of separateness and into unity. We're moving away from judgment, criticism, resistance. I don't like this. I don't like you. Stop. And into allowing. Allowing acceptance and a unified way of being on this planet. And I have decided to practice that on my YouTube channel. So YouTube offers people revenue from ads that they display on your YouTube channel. And a lot of people who have big YouTube channels make a lot of money from this. And it's a way of monetizing what they post for free. And I have turned off all the ads on all my recordings. If you spot one that has an ad turned on, tell me and I'll turn it off, because I've got hundreds of recordings on YouTube. And because I want to actually live this principle, I would prefer that if you really do enjoy the shows and you want to contribute to the shows, that you show your appreciation through making a donation for the shows, or having a session with me, or joining our online groups and having teachings. I would prefer that you spend your money and your resources on something that we offer or something that you appreciate, rather than you spending your money or me making money from advertising or advertisement, as you Americans like to say. I used to have an argument with a girlfriend who was an American. She'd say, it's not advertisement, it's advertisement. Anyway, we had fun with that. Most of the ads on YouTube are selling you stuff you don't want. And the thing that really upset me was I saw an ad for some readings. There was a woman doing some readings, or a group of people offering readings, and they were totally bogus. And yet they're the sorts of ads that would be displayed on a channel like mine. And I don't want you to spend your money on bogus readings. I really don't. Some of the ads are all right. They advertise places like Gaia TV. Don't mind those ads. But most of the ads on YouTube are not benefiting you as a loving, unified, beautiful being here to make a difference in the world. So I turned them all off. I'm not interested in their money. I never made a lot of money. It says that I've, over the years, 10 years or 11 years I've been on YouTube, I was supposed to have made $1,000 according to the settings, but I know I've only been paid about 200. over the years, so it's not going to make me rich, is it? Maybe if I had millions of people viewing my YouTube, I'd be getting more revenue out of the ads, but I don't want to make money out of the ads. And again, I'm asking you, if you do appreciate the shows and the teachings on my channel and you want to spend your money, make a donation. $2, $5, $10 if you like. Some people, do $25, $50, whatever. And it's not mandatory either. I put this information out there free to the public because I offer it. It's part of the work I do as an New World teacher, as an activator, accelerator, acclimator, and accentuator of the New World teachers, of the message of unity, of the message of unconditional love, of the message of celebrating our diversity, of the message of human evolution, of expanded consciousness, of expanded awareness. I would do it for nothing, and I do it for nothing most of the time. It does take me a lot of time and effort to put up these shows, and I don't mind it because that's why I'm here. I'm here to expand consciousness, and I do it through talking to people, having conversations on my shows, in my sessions and online groups, and actually I do it in every conversation I have with anybody. There is an expanded awareness and consciousness happening. And as you do expand your light body, as you become more loving, as you let go of your fears and your worry, as you see the truth of who you are as an infinite, unified, unbounded potential, an extension of source energy connected to infinite intelligence, unconditional love, unbounded creativity, as you start to become aware of who you are as that, not your body, not your mind, not your thoughts, not even your personality, not your family, not your education. You are source energy streaming through all those things, body, mind, personality complex, as we discussed with the beautiful, wonderful Aaron Abke on the show. You are a spiritual, what do they call it in the body, mind, spiritual complex, I think the Law of One called it. You are that, but you're flowing infinite potential, infinite energy through a body-mind complex. And when you identify with that part of yourself as this infinite genius potential, infinite creative potential, unconditional love, unbounded, unlimited in any way, when you identify with that stream of energy of who you are and not the body that you're streaming it through, you start to apply the things that we talk about as a galactic being would, or a spiritual being would. You start to live more in a more unified, connected way. You start to step out of the matrix. You start to view life from a broader perspective, from a more detached perspective. It's less personal to you. What people say to you is less personal to you, because ultimately they're probably interacting with, well, first of all, they're interacting with their thoughts about who they think you are, not really who you are. And then they're interacting with their criticisms about what you look like and what you think. And, really people are just interacting with their own thoughts. So people can say anything to you, be it love, be it hate. And they're not actually talking to the truth of who you are. They're just talking to the conversation in their own mind. So you can love them for that. You can love everyone for that. And I think that as we navigate this current situation on Earth, we really have to be reminded of who we are as this infinite, creative, unbounded, unconditional love and potential, and live from that perspective. How are we going to fight against the control? That was a conversation that we had on the last show with Lakma, the Palladian Collective. And I have to say, didn't always agree with the vernacular or the way it was being presented through the channeling, that we need to fight, 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 fight. I said to Lakma, through Pia and Cullen, fighting and loving are sort of two opposing ideas in the mind of the third dimensional collective, in a linear mind perspective. Because fighting is resistance to what is. From their perspective, they just see it all as one. But from our perspective, we see a fight as the resistance to what is. So what's happening to us? We're being controlled by narratives and rhetoric and lies through a media system, through a government system. We're being told to do things we wouldn't do. For our health, there is a story that's coming through that the things that we're being told to do is for the betterment of humanity, is for the health of humanity, is for the safety of humanity. This cat's driving me crazy, licking me like crazy. Anyway, and we're being told to do all these things that would be counterproductive, counter to our intuitive, like don't go outside and be in the sun and don't hug people and don't gather in your groups. Totally counter to who we are as intuitive beings that want to love and hug and gather and be outside with nature. And we're being told that it's for the betterment of society. So we know that that's not true. Health is about feeling connected to each other. They say when babies are born who have lost parents or that are preemie and they're in humidity cribs, when you have human touch, they actually thrive and overcome any problems they have through human touch. So we're being told not to touch each other. In fact, we're being told to distance from each other. It's completing counter, what's the word I'm looking for? The opposite of our intuitive knowing that we are all connected, and that actually connecting physically to another human being, hugging them, holding hands, kissing them, is actually a very healthy thing to do. But the narrative that we've been told is that there is this airborne disease that is going to infect us all if we touch each other. You know, logic says that this can't be true. But how are we going to, as light beings, as light bearers, as New World teachers, how are we going to fight or stand up to this? Well, we're not going to fight it, for one thing. We're not going to stand up. We're not going to resist it. We're just going to shake our heads and say yes and comply. But we're also going to stand up for what we believe in. So how do you do that? One of the things that I did with these shows was that when I realized that media is such a hypnotic tool for programming us with fear-based limiting messages, my fight against that was to create a show, producing the opposite of that, producing messages that explain who we are as powerful genius creators, how we flow our energy, how that nothing can affect us if we're not in a vibrational stance to manifest that in our reality. To me, this was the most important message that we can have as humans on this planet right now, that there is nothing outside of me that can affect the way I experience this life, because it's only within me that affects the way I experience this life. So it doesn't matter if I get sick, and die. None of that really even matters. It doesn't matter if I lose all my money. It doesn't matter if stuff happens to me, because the way I think about it, the way I think and feel, the way I respond to life is the way I experience life. It's the way I experience life. And so if I'm more loving, happier, what does it matter of the circumstances? All that we're looking for, all that we want, lives within us. So we're being told the opposite. But we've been told this through our media systems, through our schooling systems, through society for years, that what you want is outside of you. The money you want, the success you want, the love that you want, the health that you want. It all exists in what's happening in this world, and come and get it. I'll sell it to you, pay me some money, and I'll give you what you want. That's the narrative that we've been given. It's changing, kids. Everything's changing. The illogicalness of this experience that we're going through, that there is this disease outside of ourselves that's going to kill us, make us sick, all these things that we don't want. I think people are just waking up to how crazy this is. Stay home. Don't do what you love. Don't hug each other. Don't gather, because you're going to lose. You're going to lose everything you cherish, which is your health and your life. It's not logical, is it? It's just not logical. So what is logical? What can we do about it? We can ramp up the love. That's what we can do about it. We can ramp it up. Kindness. In a world that teaches you that everyone's out to get you, kindness is a rebellious act. In a world that teaches you that love is something that you need to buy, fulfillment is something that you need to buy and study for. Being successful, no matter who you are or what you're doing, and feeling loved is a rebellious act. Your rebellion against the control system is you being the opposite of what they're trying to tell us to be, which is afraid and staying at home. So be bold, be rambunctious, be outrageous in your love, in your connections to each other. Be outspoken in what you believe. You don't have to make another human being wrong. Making someone wrong is not about being outspoken. Put out a podcast show, spreading your message. That's what I did 10 years ago. I was showcasing New World teachers in person for many years through the Academy of Light, putting on teachers teaching spiritual messages, and then 10 years ago I took it to media. That is my rebellious act. So the fight against control is you ramping up, living who you are as your true nature, as a loving, unified, genius, creative being, a light bearer, a source of light in this world, a source of love in this world, a source of acceptance and allowing in this world. It's not you screaming at the media or the control drama or the cabal or the governments. It's not you fighting with the police that are trying to keep you off the beaches, or wanting to arrest you as you sit in the park, or all the crazy things that's happening. See the other human beings that are doing their job and living in fear of losing their livelihoods and doing what they're told to do because they've got mortgages to pay and children to feed and educate. Love them. As I walk past people who are doing the social distancing, so I've got to say they're pretty chilled here in Australia, but as people are walking, there are some people that will just really avoid you 2 meters away. And I just send them love and remind them psychically, you're safe, you're loved, you're safe, you're loved. Love is your rebellion. Be more loving, ramp up the love, ramp it up as high as you can, turn up the volume on love and acceptance. And as you turn up your volume on loving others, you'll love yourself more, you'll raise your vibration, you'll create a different reality. You see, you don't create the same reality in a loving and accepting and allowing place as you create in a fearful place or a rebellious place. When I say rebellious, in an angry, resistant place. As you resist what is, as the beautiful Byron Katie says, as you resist what is, you lose, but only 100% of the time. So as you fight against what's happening, as you argue with it, you lose. What do you lose? You lose your connection to your power to create transformation. Transformation in your own physical body, in your own energy field, in your life, and in the life of others, and in this world. You came as a transformer, a disruptor, to be an agent of transformation, to be a bearer of light. This is why you're here. And it is in knowing that and feeling connected to your multidimensional nature, to the guidance within you, listening to your heart. When you're listening to the information that's going around the internet at lightning speed at the moment, everyone with their different opinions about 5G and the control and the AI going to take over the world, and the cabal and the money and the Bitcoin and the this and the currency and the that. And we're being bombarded, aren't we, with information? What does love say? What does your heart say? What does God say? What does Jesus say? Like, whatever you want to frame love as. What do the angels say? What do the ETs say? What does love say now? What would love do now? This is your rebellious act. This is how we fight against control, if that's what you want to do, fight against control. Kindness, love. What else do I want to say to you? Really, that's the message that I feel very strongly that is coming through with these times of change. As you know, I'm having lots of conversations with lots of different people with lots of different perspectives. So the 5G is a big one. It's irradiating us. What did Larkma say? That it's going to control us through our smartphones. She's asking us to get rid of our smartphones. She'd like us to, when I say she, they would like us to get rid of our computers. But There's good and bad applications to everything on earth, and some people will use the technology for their own agenda, which is service to self, and some people will use it for another agenda, which is service to others. So how are you using this technology that is deemed as bad? You know, are you using it for service to self or service to others? I know I use the technology for service to others. I use this technology to get these messages out there to the world, to remind you of who you are as a light bearer, as a powerful, infinite genius creator. You are the creator of your reality. You get to decide how you experience this world. Do you see it as a place that's crazy that you want to get out of? One of the things on the Facebook Live this morning is like, I'm not from this place, humans are crazy, I want out of here. That's not really a very connected, loving statement. It's a statement of resistance and fear. You get to decide. No right and wrong in this, really. Do I want to tune into that vibration? Choice. Or tune into a different vibration? Like, why are you here? Why are you listening to this conversation? Why do you watch my shows? Why do you listen to other spiritual teachers? Because you know who you are as an agent of change. What are we changing to? We're changing from fear to love. We're changing from separation to unity. We're changing from control to allowing. We're changing from looking for the source of our happiness or the source of our genius or the source of our success or fulfillment from the outside world to the inner world. Once you find your connection to your bliss within, then you just get to enjoy the world and all its craziness. Again, you step away from it being personal and you can witness it, much like you witness a movie when you watch a movie. Get involved, get passionate, cry when people cry, laugh when people laugh, but know that it is the movie and not the reality. Your reality is love. Thanks for listening. Love you all. See you again soon.